How to influence change, build consensus, and achieve a greater success. What I've developed is the Leader Success System. Now with the Leader Success System, we have 5 key skill areas. Now the first key skill area, without this you may never be able to paint the picture of what good looks like from your mind into the mind of somebody else. Meaning, you'll either have to do everything yourself or it will remain unachievable. Yet, when you can do this, the clarity that somebody else has about your idea can be as powerful as if you're both looking at a master picture from a great master, meaning you both get the detail and both know what needs to be done. Now, the skill we're talking about is the skill of influence. Now, what do I mean by influence? Influence for me is the ability or the action or process of producing effects on actions or processes or behaviours or opinions of others. Or to put it basically, you stop someone from having one thought with a corresponding action and pick up another one, because all action starts as thoughts, right? So, have you ever been in that kind of situation where someone has said something to you that has made you think and stop what you're doing and from doing one thing and start doing something else? And you've also been in that kind of situation where actually you've received criticism that has caused you delay and prevented you from taking action. So influence can be used for some really good purposes, or it can be used for really bad purposes. Now what we do is we teach the Rich Relationship Roadmap, which is 4 key areas of how you can build up the skills of being able to build up positive influence in others to make change happen. And one kind of effect of this is think about how it works inside meetings. When you're in a position where you go into a meeting, have you ever noticed how many people don't speak up in meetings, how many people slouch in their chairs, they move away from the desk, or they're stuck behind their laptops? And yet, when you agree with me that meetings cost money and also cost a lot of time, and therefore these are things that need to be maximised, and you'll have been invited to the meeting because you're seen as having an impact on that meeting. You seem to have some kind of thing to deliver, something that you're going to give up and participate in. So coming to a meeting in a more active posture, actually sat up straight, hands visible, and being able to express yourself in the meeting, asking questions and challenge what's going on is really crucial. And inside the Rich Relationship Roadmap, we look at some of those key areas of how to do that. Now, we've talked about that skill of influence. Now let's look at the next skill. And when we've got this skill, it's like the people that you work with can read your mind, and you're able to then concentrate on what you need to do. Whereas when you don't have this skill, you'll spend more time worrying whether the outcome of what others are going to do for you is going to be correct or not. And that you may even have to ask them to do rework and redo things they've already got, which is demoralising to yourself and demotivating to your team. And the problem that I see is that many people, many leaders, just don't industrialise what they do. And what do I mean by industrialise? I mean they don't make what they do repeatable, reliable and predictable so that everybody can follow what it is and it's very clear what's needed. Now, you need to develop these skills of being able to industrialise your thoughts, your ideas, your musings, your methods to make it a repeatable process so that others can work with you. Because let's face it, you don't have to do everything yourself, right? But yet so many times I see managers and leaders abdicating their responsibility in blind hope that the other person can pick up the task with barely a few words, no method, no intent, and no idea of what good looks like. I mean, have you ever been in that situation or even seen that situation? I mean, not caused by you, but perhaps caused by a peer or an acquaintance or a supplier. Now, I work with my clients. We use the powerful productivity plan, which is 5 key systems of how to be able to help make those frameworks, make those systems, so that you know you've got very absolute clarity of what people need to do, and they know exactly what your expectations of them is. Because being able to build these means that you'll be able to then pass on that responsibility to them in the knowledge that you're going to get the results back that you wanted. Now, we've talked about influence, we've talked about industrialise, now we're going to look at our 3rd key skill. Now without this, you might be baffled as to why those you work with just don't get it when you're asking for something. But yet, when you use this, you'll notice that there's a better way to communicate with some of those people that'll have a much more quicker and more effective outcome. And what we're talking about is the skill of how to interrelate. Now, what do I mean by interrelate? Because interrelate is all around that reciprocal relationship, right? Or to put it simply, it's how to communicate and work with others. Because the thing is, you've probably been involved in some of those kind of lessons learned meetings in the past, or the program or project or change retrospective, right? And I'm sure you'll have noticed that on nearly all of these exercises, the one key finding is that communication needs to be improved. And let's face it, this comes up time and time again. So I work with my clients on the Expert Connection Creator, which is demonstrates 4 engagement groups and styles that are able to help being able to show you how to move people from where they are and make sure they've got the information they need to move them to where you need them to be. And this is simple things such as you look at whether people are principally driven by either pain as a motivator or gain as a motivator. Because if you try to talk to somebody about where you're going to be moving to, and they're a pain person, they'll think you've got no idea what they're talking about, no idea what's involved in their role. But yet the same happens if you talk to somebody who's forward thinking and looking at the future, and you talk about all the problems you've got currently today and how it's mired in the past and all these reasons why you can't do something. They're going to think you don't get it, you don't know the strategy, you don't know how things are moving forward. So as a leader, you need to be able to pick out the right way of talking to people in all these various different conversations, and also recognize the fact that sometimes they will change part way through a conversation as their mindset shifts as well into the same kind of direction that you've gone in. So we've looked kind of at the interrelated skill, and we're looking now at the 4th kind of skill area. Now, for me, I find this is as important as all the others, yet I find so many leaders neglect this. And when they do, they lose momentum, they become ineffective, and they may appear lost to others. But when they've got this skill, what you find is they have a greater focus, a better store of energy, and they're more willing to be more effective in doing all aspects of their work and life. And the skill we're looking at is how to be an individual. Now, what do I mean by an individual? Because many of you may already think that you're individualistic. But what I mean by an individual is that you're not just fitting into the follow the rules, fitting in, head down, conform to the norms, all the things that we've been programmed all throughout our lives by people that our best intentions at heart. Because even Oscar Wilde said that you need to be yourself as everyone else is taken. And my best friend and mentor is famous for saying, why do you try so hard to fit in when you're born to stand out? And I'm sure that you want to be an individual, yet can I ask you a question? Do you find at least 1 hour a day to develop yourself? And I've developed the personal performance process, which looks at 7 key areas that you need to be developing on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you're keeping ahead and you're putting yourself first as well, so that you can achieve time and time again. Now, for our last skill, this skill, because we've already looked at things like influence and how we're able to get the thoughts and ideas in somebody else's mind, how to industrialize so you improve the ability to work with others and get the results that you want, and how to interrelate. So we have explored a couple of points on how to improve your communication effectiveness and the fact that you want to be an individual so you can find time to work on yourself so you don't become obsolete or despondent. And with the 5th skill, this is all around creating a life for yourself and the organization, which when you don't have this might be actually distracting you, but when you do have this, it feels like you're almost winning the lottery on a day-to-day basis. And what we're talking about is actually the income, or more specifically, we're talking about the return on the investment for the service that you're providing or that an organisation is consuming, to make sure that you're out there, you're pushing things forwards. Because let's face it, we all have commitments. Even your organisation has commitments. You personally have commitments like mortgage payments, food on the table, rental agreements, and you might like things like holidays, birthday celebrations, or improving yourself. And your organisation has the same things. It has tax payments, government submissions, wages, supplier charges, and potentially expansion or R&D on new products or services or training. And therefore it's important to start looking at actually how do you manage this kind of money and where the additional funds can come from and how you can influence others that are working with you. So we will look at the money maximizer method, which is 7 key stages of how you can make sure you've got the right skills for identifying the right people that you need to be working with at the right time to make sure you've got the right things coming forwards. As a general manager I once worked with back in the day, he's a great guy. He said, don't chase the money, concentrate on developing your skills so you can provide better service and get involved wherever you can. So what have we covered so far? We've covered learn how to influence change so you can take advantage of the golden age of opportunity, uncover how not to do it all on your own by building a greater awareness of how others absorb information, look at how to create highly effective teams so you don't have to do it all yourself and you can achieve greater results for your client, your organisation and for yourself, how to achieve your optimum performance by setting yourself up for success time and time again how to improve the income for your business and for yourself by becoming the recognised change maker who gets things done.
If you enjoyed this video, then please click the subscribe button for more hints, tips, sound bites and extras in order to be able to help you influence change, build consensus and achieve a greater success in your life, in your career and in your organisation. So click that subscribe button now.